Ah, even from the road, that thing sounds good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Argonauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Saturday night stream. It is June 29th, 2024. It is 8:22, 3 p.m. Eastern, and it is my great pleasure to welcome everybody to the stream and to welcome everybody specifically to day 28 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. I'm on V'ger. Why am I on V'ger? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why am I on V'ger? What are you talking about? I have to tell everybody right now, I am in an awful mood because the tech stuff has been absolutely pissing me off to the highest degree. I sound a little distant. Oh, God. That is a nightmare. Oh, God. Okay. How about now? Is that any better? Is that any better? Any better? Check one, check two. Please tell me it's better. Please, I'm begging you to tell me it's better. I'm going to put my fist through a wall if this is not better. I've had so much. Okay. Oh my God. I have had so many tech problems tonight. It is. My enter key is not working on my keyboard. It's all okay. Woo! I have not been a happy camper. I mean, I had actually a very nice day with the family today, but I have not been a happy camper trying to get this goddamn thing working. But all right, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're working. I'm glad it's functional. Because I don't want it to just be like vaguely, well, I can understand it. I want it to be decent quality. So hopefully it's decent quality now. But welcome everybody to day 28 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, Shadows in Twilight. I'm coming to you live from the road. Am I seriously not coming through well? What does that mean? Yeah, I really need no jokes today, folks, about my audio. I need just honest responses. Like, is it fine? Okay. So I'm totally fine. Okay, good. That's awesome. All right. So day 28, Expedition of the Mysterious Peaks, Shadows in Twilight, and I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere in the area of Saratoga Springs, which is where I am on a family trip. So I am here, and we are ready to do some Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks. I spent a couple of hours trying to get this all working, and I did finally manage to get it working, but what a pain in the butt, mostly around my laptop keyboard, which, despite being out in the shop for 6 weeks to get it fixed, is still not fixed, so very unhappy about that. But I did manage to get everything else functional and working, and everything else is going great. So that's good, but it means that if things are a little bit off the normal quality, I apologize unreservedly and can say only that I will get it fixed until, once I'm able to talk to people like that. So, but anyway. But welcome all to the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube channel with !ArvTube, and if you're watching me over on the YouTube channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And please consider, as I say, following, that is !ArvTube. And consider subscribing to us over on the YouTube channel, because that will definitely help us out. And please consider following us over on our Twitch channel as well, because Twitch also is where we're going to be hanging out and doing inspirations and things like that at twitch.tv/ArvinElleron. I am also, of course, on Discord, !ArvCore to join my server there. Twitter is !ArvTweets, Blue Sky, !ArvSky, website arvinelleron.com for all of that stuff. Financially, !ArvShop, that is my merchandise area. !ArvTrayon is the Patreon, which you can see up there, which really does make a difference. It allows us to do a lot of cool stuff. And so any support that people are able to give there would be very much appreciated. You can get cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel, and that's the same thing if you are willing to sub to the channel. That would be lovely. If you sub to the channel, you get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. And I should point out that I believe this is our final tabletop game of the month. So if you've got inspirations, use them if you got them, because today is the final day of the month. So that is the deal with that. That is !ArvTrayon for that. On the publishing side, !BLM. That's Black Lives Matter, but I'll come to that. !Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. !Library is my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And Greyshade is my Greyshade IP. First two books in that series, Greyshade and Renegade, are already out. You can get those at that link. You can also can also get the audiobook of Grey Shade from our very own Trent Sparks. All of that from the amazing Athos Arts. You can get that at that Grey Shade link. Exclamation point Grey Shade will also allow you to pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Grey Shade being designed by Brandon O'Brien. That will be out at the end of this year, so you can pre-order that now. And you can also pre-order the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy, which is known as Heretic. That will be out next month. It'll be out actually in a little less than a month, technically, just under a month. We'll have a big release event at Black Rock Books in Bridgeport, Connecticut the weekend before, and then it will release, I believe it's that last week of July, so that's going to be cool. So definitely pre-order there, and that would help us out a lot. And last but certainly not least, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter. Important to affirm and assert the importance of significance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, Ukraine, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message that we will do so for others in this situation in the future. Okay, with all of that said, I think I have just about everything here, but let me just make sure that I move that down to the bottom, and then I'm going to move myself up twice over here, I believe. Maybe one more. There we go. Lovely. All right, and with that said, I'm going to do this. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello. As you can see, I'm in a glamorous hotel room here, somewhere in the region of Saratoga Springs. So welcome, everybody. And again, my apologies for some of the tech problems. Hopefully, we won't have too many tech problems today. I think now we've addressed this soon. A Heretic review is coming soon to Skippy and Fanty. I love to see that. Ooh, that's nice. I am excited for that. That's going to be great. Thank you so much for letting me know that, Trifid. Thank you. And yeah, so welcome, everybody. I am ready to go, and I think the folks are ready to go as well. So with that said, I'm going to unmute myself and let them know that we are ready to go, and apologize if I have accidentally interrupted anybody that I can't hear. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to cut over to reveal the crew. The crew is here. They are ready to go. What happened in the green room while I was
Yeah, I was just doing my rendition of Scar's as Jeremy ironed as Scar. Be prepared in The Lion King.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then
original
only a few minutes before that, Toya was also doing ASMR for us. So
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
we were having a great time.
That I apologize that I cut into it.
We don't even want to play. We want to keep on just chatting. It was
No,
amazing.
the hell with the game. Like, can I just say, by the way, that I found this out today. I was today years old when I discovered, since you mentioned Zeruk about the Lion King. Did you know that Li Shang, who is the the commander in Mulan, the Disney Mulan, did you know that the person who did the Cantonese and Mandarin dub for him was Jackie Chan? I had no idea that and he also sang it. He sang the "Let's get
really
to defeat the Huns." It was Jackie Chan because he's
That's
fluent
awesome.
in Cantonese and Mandarin. I'm like, wow, I did not know that. Anyway,
That's cool.
It was a random fact that I discovered today. But we're not here for random facts. We are here for these lovely people who have been very patient as I've been sorting through the tech issues. So welcome, everybody. And let's talk a little bit about these wonderful people. I will start with the gentleman at the top left of your screen, and that is one Mr. Johnny Pittman. It's good to see you, Johnny. I do want to mention, because we said we were going to do this quick announcement just before you say hi to yourself, that Johnny, of course, is the GM of our upcoming Dune Imperium campaign. And that campaign
which also stars Zach.
And that campaign is starting, it looks like, now we will have an absolute date for you soon, but it's starting towards the end of July. So it is going to get started. We are very excited about it, and I cannot wait. Johnny's a wonderful GM, and I am seriously excited about that. Like, political intrigue, science fiction, sign me up. Obviously, I'm all about it. So it's going to be super good. But having said exactly, the game must flow. But having said that, Johnny, how are you? Otherwise, how's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
Listen, I love this group. I love this show. I want to play this game, but I don't want to talk about anything else but Acolyte. All right. If you're not watching Acolyte,
really?
Oh my God!
No kidding. Okay.
Have you been enjoying it?
it is Star Wars in a way that even Andor isn't Star Wars.
Wow.
It is so good. If you guys are not watching
That's great
it,
to hear.
breakdown, watch it. There are 5 episodes. And honestly, if you're just starting now, you're very lucky because episode 5 was ridiculous. It was the best lightsaber fight I've ever seen. It is the
Wow.
best sort of like
I saw
intrigue
some of the
and story.
training stuff for that. It was wild about how they were training for those. Yeah.
It is
That's awesome.
unbelievable. It makes everything that they did in the prequels look like child's play.
Really? Oh wow.
Wow.
It's next level stuff. And if you
Okay.
guys have seen Shang-Chi, the fight coordinator for Shang-Chi did the fight coordination for
Okay.
this TV show.
That
and
movie was
it
awesome. Fight coordinating. Yeah.
It's incredible martial arts based, fantastic stuff, right? Absolutely, 100%. So I don't want to talk about anything else, but because I got to play this show, play this game and this show with everybody else, I'm just this lowly Zek, who's is an engineer hanging out, and his name is Titus Littlefoot. And I understand that there's art coming for Titus soon, so that's going to be fun as well.
Yes, I was going to say next month, I think I can officially say, I'm pretty confident about this, we will reveal Titus's formal art. I know you all think it's like the piece of paper puppet, but there's more to it than that, Oh, right, that's right, because we've been waiting. We're going to reveal all the art. Yes, that's right. So all of the art for these people, if you're like, what are these people? Never mind their players. What do the characters look like? You will discover what the characters look like soon. Yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, it's very good to have Johnny with us. Thank you, Johnny. Always a pleasure. It is also great to have the editor of the just cover released Gen Con anthology, Toya Kristen Finley, with us. And by the way, I happen to know that several esteemed people here, one specifically, Kat Rambo, no big deal, just minorly important author in the science fiction field. I am honored to share a place in that anthology with Kat and with Toya as the editor. So Toya is the editor of this awesome anthem. I'm very excited about that. Toya, how are you otherwise? How is life in the universe with you, and who are you playing?
Yes, and announced generally into the universe as well, interdimensions. So, how am I doing? Pretty good. It's disgustingly hot outside, so that's not awesome. You always ask me that, and I never know how to.
Well, because you're like, the universe is great. You can tell me. I'm
breathing. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's good.
Nice.
That's good. So today I am playing Nals Darkly, otherwise known as Nalik, and I am very interested to see how this event is going to come to a close, because bish be hot.
We're going to have some discussions about what happens with the Streaka here in just a little bit. Always a pleasure to have Toya with us, and also a pleasure to have the aforementioned Kat Rambo with us, who again has a story in that anthology, which is awesome. Kat, how are you? How's life been for you as of late, and who are you playing this evening?
Well, it has been abysmally hot, but I got good news today. We just had a recent addition to the family. The little cat that I had brought in that I thought had feline leukemia turns out not to have feline leukemia.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So
that is excellent.
Now a 3-cat household. So that's kind of, I don't know, I'm sliding towards crazy cat ladyhood, I fear.
How are the twins handling it, Kat? The previous
they're very excited.
Are they?
And they really would like to play with him. And he's a street cat. They've never known the outside, and he's a cat of the street. So he's being a little aloof so far. But there's no scratching and biting going on. He did teach the boys how to hiss. They had never hissed before, and now they've learned this. And they're like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And so
that's funny.
At any rate, I am playing Fob, a lizard folk rogue with a great many knives and occasionally a great many teeth.
Yes, and which got some use while your character is being Jaegered in our last session, but it's good to have you back on board with us. Always a pleasure, Kat, and also a pleasure to have Zach Clay with us, who, of course, along with me, is the host of Gen GMs, which is our show that continues to do well. We are heading towards 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so please join us over there if you want to know more about DMing and GMing. I mean, if you like tabletop roleplay, I don't know who does that these days, but if you're interested, you can stop by. But seriously, thank you for all those who have supported us and who are supporting Zach Clay in all his endeavors. And speaking of his endeavors, what are those endeavors, Zach? How have you been, and who are you playing this evening?
Yeah, I have a fun thing that happened for me today. So almost every weekend I take the ferry. I take a ferry boat from my town, which is a suburban city across the bay from San Francisco. I take the ferry from my town, my city, to San Francisco. It's about an hour-long ferry ride. And I do that to run D&D. I run D&D in the city for kids and teens through the library. The city pays me to run D&D programming for kids. And that was great. We had a great session and everything. The kids that I'm running this campaign in, they're searching for a spooky book in a haunted mansion. So we're doing that whole thing, and all the different parts of the mansion are like coming alive. And for some reason, some of these kids had been watching Delicious in Dungeon, which is this Netflix show. And so for some reason, they're like, what if we started, they found an empty fireplace in the mansion. They were like, what if we started a stew, and for every monster and every part of the house that we slay, we add it to the stew and then we eat it at the end. So they're obsessed with this. Again, they're like 13-year-old kids. So they are like, okay, we just killed a mimic. We killed a mimic. Nice, go put it in the stew. And they're so that's their goal now. They're not
a casserole because of the mimic. You're just like,
yeah,
oh, no.
Basically, yeah. So they just killed some gray oozes. And yeah, so anyway, that was fun. But then the other cool thing that happened today in my universe, if the universe is good with me, which it is that I've been taking this ferry for over a year, almost 2 years now, doing this. And oftentimes, if you go on the ferry at the same time every weekend, the captain of the ferry and the ferry crew are the same if you keep going at that same time, right? And so I've, just like lightly befriended some of the people, I'm a regular because we get a lot of tourists that want to go from my city to San Francisco for, Pride or a Giants game or whatever's going on. So today I was feeling extroverted. And so I was like, I would love if I could see like the bridge of the ship, like, where the captain sits and pilots the ship. Like I've never seen of a huge ship like that can carry up to 400, 500 people. So I went up to one of the crew guys. I was like, can I see the bridge? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so long story short, the captain of the ferry let me pilot the ferry for like 5 to 10 minutes. And so I've been on this boat for so long. So let this be the lesson to all of you and to chat that, sometimes a simple question can lead to you piloting a boat with 500 people on it.
You realize we're going to get the captain fired, right? Like, that's all we need to hear is like, wait, you gave it to who?
Yes.
Like, I'm responsible, sir.
Like, didn't happen. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
no, but
awesome.
he was great. I was joking with him because his name is also, well, no, actually I won't say what his name is now that you pointed that out.
Tell us his name, please.
Yes.
His name is also Zach? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah, exactly.
He looks like Anthony Mackie as Captain America, which I thought was funny because he's the captain of the ship. So I keep calling him Captain America. But yeah, so that was really cool. And so I was asking them all questions about the radar and all the stuff that they have up here. And for any, ferry officials that may or may not be watching, he didn't actually let me pilot this ship. He had control over everything
At all times.
At all times. But yeah, that was really fun. So yeah, that was how my day was made today. And now it's going to be made even more by doing some epic Esper Genesis D&D combat and fighting shadows and doing stuff. So I am playing Dr. Jaraxxus, a Dendus cybermancer who's not actually a medical doctor or even arguably any doctor whatsoever, but just the popular Neil deGrasse Tyson / Bill Nye the Science Guy of the Esper Genesis universe, and is doing his best to stay relevant. There you go.
His best to stay relevant as an influencer.
Yes.
Well, it is great to have everyone back in the saddle. It really is genuinely happy to see all of you here. And chat, let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session. In day 27 of Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks, the crew, as you will know if you have watched us, has come to the mysterious Twilight city of Celis in search of, hopefully, the support of the Whisperwind family, because Elu Whisperwind is connected in Celis, and the hope was that her family would be able to help the crew get support to find out why the Primarch of Cambria is trying to kill them and doing all these terrible things. But something happened when they got down there, and that is that people from Celis have been disappearing. And until they can solve this problem of figuring out why everybody's disappearing, the leaders of Celis are frankly too occupied to be able to do anything else. And so the party duly agreed to be able to support this effort and went forward to do so. But when the party attempted to do this, they began to track down some strange happenings. They were being followed around the city of Celis, for example, by shadowy figures in cloaks. There were several occasions where they found that places where people had been, including in certain cases the sister of Elu Whisperwind's, one of her best friends, had disappeared at the same time. The places where those people lived themselves had been locked down or had mysterious messages left. But the party eventually was able to track things down to the wine gardens, which is to the north of the map that I'm going to show you folks in just a little bit. And when they went there, discovered that there has been a series of initiation rituals that have taken place for these shadow callers, these people who were able to be in contact with people beyond the veil, basically the creatures beyond the veil. And those initiation rituals, which are fairly standard, had apparently a special kind of wine that had been served at those places, and people who drank that wine ended up being the same people who end up disappearing at a later time. And the only thing that they knew for certain was that the same person was there each time, and that was Ustrika, who is one of the most powerful of the spirit callers, whose job it is to be able to conduct these initiations. The party was approached by Mavra Whisperwind, that is Elu Whisperwind's sister, who has been searching for this stuff basically on the down low, so as not to involve her family directly. And after some discussion, the party joined forces with Mavra, who was able to bring them into this wine garden that I mentioned before, and then discuss things, the Dew Dreams wine garden, I believe it is, and was able to discuss things with them about how they would manage. The party ended up fighting this strange, mutated fungal beast creature down in the wine cellar, and once they defeated that, they managed to set themselves up for essentially to become bait, where the character of Knowles would join with the rest of them to be attended by the servant, Fob, who actually was secretly the camera person for all of this. That camera person came to a feed in the wine cellar that both Titus and Dr. Daraxis were watching, along, of course, with our dear friend Gamork, who has been hanging out with them as well. Everything seemed to be fine when Ustrika arrived. Ustrika went around and got the information from everybody and was chatting people up. But of course, they were waiting for the moment when the rubber would eventually hit the road. And eventually it did do that, and an attack began. In our last session, Ustrika and the shadowy creatures that she summoned went back and forth with our party. And the biggest issue was that Titus and Jaraxis were kept from being able to enter the field of battle by this barrier that had been established around the outside. Fob and Knowles did the best they could, and in fact got one of the shadows down and managed to get rid of a bunch of initiates who apparently were mind controlled and also were attacking them at the same time. But Titus and Jaraxis were blocked out. Even the mighty Gamork was blocked out until just before the end of our last session, when Mavra herself used some kind of strange power, which is as yet to be determined, and essentially, as I believe Toya described it in the green room, did a kind of outward force push thing that blew open the barrier and then fell to the ground motionless. Whether unconscious or dead is as yet unclear. The good news about that was the barrier was then free. The not as good news about the whole situation is that we still have 2 shadow creatures that are up, although one of them is damaged severely, and we have Ustrika, who has as yet basically not been hurt in particular. But the party now is at full strength. Full strength minus a few hit points, but what's a few hit points between friends? And we will see what happens from there. So just before we get started, I just want to do a quick hit point check. Titus, can you give me your hit point total, please?
Right now, my hit point total is 28, so I'm at full.
28 out of 28. Okay. Let me see. Fob, I know you mentioned this before, but if you could tell me again what you got.
11 out of 20.
11 out of 20. Yes, Fob took a little bit of damage, although we had a lot of jaws of death. No, I'm kidding. That's not what it's actually called. But as we were going on. Draxus, how about you?
I have myself at 21 out of 21 max and 6 temp, because I don't think those of us outside the bubble took any damage yet.
That is correct. Okay, and then last we have Nulls, who is at, he asked,
14 out of 31.
14 out of, you said 31?
Yes.
Okay, 14 out of 31. Lovely. Okay. Right. All right. So we're good with that. I'm going to save that. Let's fire up some music and let's talk about the combat as we move into this. I believe we have this going on. There we go. It's working. I love it. I love it when things work. Okay. So let's talk then to, if we might please. Okay, there we go. Let us speak to. Let me know, chat, also if that's too loud. I'm, again, on the road. So, Titus, I think you were up first, since I know we were at the top of the round. So as I mentioned, you just saw this barrier go down. You know that Mavra is lying motionless on the ground. And I would say that Ustrika, by the way, looks fairly shocked. I think that's a good way to describe it, although also very angry. So does not look shocked as in the I'm going to stop attacking you mode, basically. And you have 2 shadow creatures, one that I believe is on Titus, one that I believe is on Fob. The one that is on, I beg your pardon, on Nulls, one that is on Fob. I think the one that's on Nulls, I don't remember, I think if it was the one on Nulls or Fob that was badly hurt. I think Fob, Zach, when you were playing Fob last time, was it Fob that hit the shadow a couple of times, I think?
My memory's not entirely infallible, but I think that the one that was in front of Nulls is the one that was completely eliminated.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
So therefore, the one in front of Fob is still there but injured.
Oh, okay. So we only have the one left. Okay.
I think so.
Right. Okay. Yep. Great.
But then, all of the acolytes or whatever are still, except for the ones that were Thunderwave. Some were Thunderwaved.
A lot of them are down because of that Thunderwave. Yeah. But we still have the Shadow, and of course we have the Ustrika. So, having said that, Titus, barrier has just gone down. What would you like to do?
I heard half of that. Sorry, I was in the middle of trying to figure out something rules wise.
Sure.
I was just messaging Zach. So the question I have is what's Fob's and Nulls' hit points again?
So 11 out of 20 for Fob and 14 out of 31 for Nulls.
Okay. Yeah, I really can't do anything for them until they drop a lot farther below at this particular point.
Okay.
So how far am I away from both of them?
Now that the barrier's open, you're probably about, I would say, 35, 40 feet. You're fairly close.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move closer.
Okay.
To Nulls.
Okay.
And I am going to use the power mend
Okay.
on Null specifically.
Okay. All right, you can
So
do
it's
that.
I'm gonna move within the 30 feet range essentially, and then use this as my action.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you can do that, and mend should restore. I guess you're gonna roll it now.
Oh, you know what? I can't actually do that because the range is touch. Forget that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But I will move into range, and then I will instead. I will first send in my assault drone.
Okay.
To close the range and attack the weaker one of the acolytes or whatever that's on them.
Okay. Most of the acolytes at the moment are down. You mean the shadow?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, I take that back. Because I doubt that the shadow is going to be able to be affected by a plasma cutter.
Hmm.
Right. So,
yeah, they might. From what you've well, okay. I was about to say from what you've seen so far, but then I realized you have not seen it, so never mind. Because you've been watching the fight from a distance and then running to get to them.
yeah, I don't know what to do here. Okay. I'm going to focus on I'm going to focus on the woman at the center of all of this, controlling making the pretty lights and doing all the pretty things. And I'm going to use laser blast against the straight thing.
Okay, sounds good. So it should be ranged spell, I think. So
yeah,
Nice.
hold on just a second. I will do that. What did that
Okay.
roll?
It did. It just rolled, so it looks like we're looking
How about
at
a 17?
17 will hit. Yes.
All right, let me bring up damage. One second. Yeah. So, how about 10 points of radiant damage?
10 points of radiant damage. Okay. So yes, that absolutely hits, and she does not like that at all. And she sort of kind of like recoils as this hits, and then kind of glares at you, and her eyes swirl black. We will see what the results of that will be, but no pupils, just black.
Wonderful.
We'll talk about the implications of that in a moment.
Is there another effect of laser blast, Johnny?
Yeah, please
Thank
let me
you
know if there is.
Let me double check that because
I'm trying to find it too. Where's my? There we go.
Next attack roll must be. Wait a minute. On the hit, target takes 46 radiant damage. In addition, the next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage.
From anybody, right? Okay.
From anybody.
All right. Good stuff, and we already had you do. All right, Titus, entering with a bang. Okay, Fob, you were up
Nice.
next, so you just saw
And
that.
Fob has bardic inspiration as well.
Okay.
Cool.
So Fob, you're right there, basically next
So
to
I'm right
the
there
shadow
with
and
the
Ostrika.
shadow?
Yeah, the shadow and Ostrika, but you got both of them, in proximity.
Well, I'm gonna hit the shadow creature, which I believe is already hurt.
Yeah. Yes, but injured, but not like right at the edge of death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna hit it with a dagger.
Okay.
17.
17 will hit. Yes.
Okay, let me see what the damage is.
It's a magical dagger, by the way.
No, it is not the
Okay.
magical dagger.
Gotcha.
I'm saving that, Greg.
No, I know. I'm waiting for when that magical dagger gets the, hell's
I
hardest
did
destiny.
6 points,
Okay.
and then
As you hit, just as quickly as you hit that, So it is affected by it, but not as much as you might have expected. It sort of shrugs off some of that damage, but it does take some.
And for my bonus action, because I'm not moving, I'm going to give myself a steady aim, which means on my next attack I have advantage unless I move.
Gotcha. Okay.
When I was running Fob 2, I noticed, I think, just so you know, I think steady aim works the opposite way, because I think it says, as a bonus action, you give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So you're generally meant to use it on
before. Yeah,
before, and then you attack with advantage, and then it's over.
I'll remember that for next time. Okay, so strike that, reverse it, Greg, and next time I'll use it.
Thanks, Zach, for letting me know. Yeah, that's fine. Good stuff. Are you staying where you are, Fob, move-wise?
Which means, actually, you have a free bonus action now.
Oh,
because
that's true.
You know.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and use my Hungry Jaws, because it looks like I can use it one more time.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Does a 13 hit?
Let's see. And this is against the shadow again?
Yes.
Yes, the 13 will hit.
Nice.
And it does 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage, okay.
Wow.
And this one, did we talk about whether the Hungry Jaws count as a magical attack or not?
Only if my teeth are magical.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I was trying to think about that.
Now that is all I want to do for Fob is to get magical teeth.
I was just about to say, like, at some point Fob has to do that. Okay.
Wow.
You can just find a special orthodontist somewhere.
In the meantime, however, again, the shadow is not as affected as you would have hoped, but it is, you can see the sort of outline of it wavering, and as you bite this thing, Fob, in your somewhat weakened state, having been hit by this thing already, you can feel the coldness kind of like, you might need new teeth with the coldness kind of going up. Imagine the worst ice cream headache, but, you know, but death instead of ice cream, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you did damage it, and now we're going to have you stay where it is, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
Which leads us to Astrika. On Astrika's turn, I mentioned her eyes swirling black. And she points at you, Titus, and she says, you'll have to imagine the echo for yourself, chat, because I don't have my echo machine with me. And she looks at you and says, how dare you interfere with the spirits? And then holds out her hand, and going like this, clutches her fists together. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please, Titus.
It's lucky Titus is good at that.
Mm-hmm.
But not today.
Oh, no!
Okay. I'd like to do something.
What can you do?
Is Jaraxxus within... Because we were both standing outside the globe, I think.
Yep.
Next to each other?
Yeah, but Titus ran in to get in range so that he could do Mendon stuff next time. So he would have run in. So it depends on what the range is. You're like 30
feet.
Oh, boy.
My movement is 25, so I'm definitely
So you're
within
just
range.
within range, yes.
Beautiful.
Little legs, yeah.
Okay. Given that... Oh, this is perfect. So I have my once per short rest Cybermancer discipline ability, because I'm a director. It's called Perfectly Balanced. When you or a creature within 30 feet makes an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, I may use my reaction to have the d20 roll be treated as if it had rolled a 10. You can choose to do this after the die is rolled, but before you know the outcome. So I'm going to use that right now. I haven't used it.
So it's a 10. So question.
So now it's a 14.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that it's a +4?
I believe, to your wisdom saves, Titus?
Yeah, it's a +4 to my wisdom save.
Okay. So if that is a... Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'm fixing something. What is... Okay, sorry. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. I swear I'm not trying to drag this up for no reason. I'm trying to turn off something.
The enter key is infecting your whole computer now.
Yeah, not exactly like that. I'm trying to turn off the freaking... there we go. Go off. There we go. It turned on my nightlight thing, because it was like, you want this on now, right? I'm like, no, I don't want it on. My apologies. Okay, so, yes, a 14. On a 14, Titus, you feel, as she closes her fist, there is a moment where you feel this, like, there's almost a little voice that whispers in your head, and says, you could leave these people behind. You could learn what it means to reach beyond the veil. You could learn what it means to reach your own family. And there's a moment where you see several little Zek in front of you that look familiar to you, and then you kind of like sort of snap out of it, and you see only the dark eyes of Ustrika sort of staring at you. But you do manage to resist, and would not have done so were it not for Jaraxxus's movement. Good work, Jaraxxus.
Gotta look out for my friends.
Okay. So that did not work out, and for Ustrika anyway. Okay. So Ustrika kind of stares at you, and then whispers some words, and steps back several paces away from the rest of the party. She's not right now. She's, I think, 10 feet basically from Phobs and Nulls, so is able to step a few feet back. So, nice work, Jaraxxus. Okay, that leads us to the remaining shadow creature who goes, and who has been bitten recently by Phob, and so I think is going to try to attack Phob again, because, you know, like, Phob is just bit it. I mean, that's what happens. Okay, so...
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a reasonable call, you know, cause and effect. All right, so let me see. So the creature reaches out to try to grab you, Phob. Okay, we are looking at 22 to hit.
A 22 does hit,
It
yes.
does hit, okay. So, several things on this score. You are going to take a grand total of 10 points of damage, necrotic damage, and this cold seeps through your bones, Phob. I believe that leaves you with 1 point. But there's
it leaves me with 3 points because I got 2 points from the hungry.
Oh, that's
jaws.
right. That's right. Yes, 3
So-
points. Quite right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's the good news. The not as good news, though, is that you are also going to be further weakened.
Oh, no.
So far, what was the strength weakness, Zach? You would know because you were playing Phob.
Yeah.
That had been done so far.
So, Kat, on Phob's sheet, you're gonna click just your strength, overall strength, and I think
Right.
I've been going in there and modifying it. Do you see? Are there any overrides?
I see a -3 down at the bottom.
Yeah. So there you
Yeah.
go.
That is now a -7.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
is it automatic or is there a save involved?
There is no save involved.
Oh,
These things are nasty.
Okay. Well,
oh.
Bob started out pretty strong, but is no longer.
Yeah.
What's Phob's strength now?
9.
Oh, dang, you're really strong.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would recommend you not let that strength get to 0. I'm just gonna say that right now. But it does, and all it basically did was touch you, but that deadly cold kind of filled you, Phob, as it did so. Also, Phob, I'd like you to make a perception check for me, please.
Perception check. $17.
As you look at the shadow, I mentioned that it's wavering and indistinct, but it is vaguely humanoid in form. And as you sort of stagger back from the touch of this thing, you see that the head of the shadow has slightly pointed ears. In fact, it looks like the shadow of a Twilight elf.
Ooh. Okay.
So you can think of that as you will. It stays right next to you, and that's going to lead us to Nulls. Nulls, you have there's some problems. You have a shadow near you, which is quite hurt now, and then Ustrika, who is a little hurt, but also really dangerous.
Now, I asked this before and I don't remember. If I direct a comment at someone, does that count as an action?
If you, come on, enter key, please. I'm sorry, you said if you direct something at them?
Direct a comment at someone.
Mm-hmm. That does not count as an action, no. If you were trying to cast like a spell or something, then maybe, but...
Okay, so I can speak to Shannon, and that doesn't count as an action.
Yes, you could definitely do that.
Okay.
They may not be able to respond to you on the same turn.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
But then I'll still have an action after I speak to Shannon.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So Malls is going to speak directly to Shannon because Shannon is kind of shell-shocked for lack of a better... Shannon! Wake up! Wake up! Do you see what she's doing? Do you see what she's doing to all of us? She's trying to destroy us. You need to wake up. And then, I believe I'm going to hit Istrika with Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
So...
Okay, right. And let's see if Istrika will resist that. Let's see, DC 13.
Yep.
So, let's see. Yeah, is going to make that. So is not apparently affected by it. Although I'm sure that, you hurt her feelings substantially.
Okay, and I'm going to take a step back.
Okay. All right. This leads us to, at the end of the round, everyone's favorite modified direwolf, who goes galloping towards. What did you think it was?
Me. I haven't gone yet.
Oh, okay. Wait.
But I don't know where I am compared to.
Oh, I thought that. No, you should have gone before the shadow. That's my fault, Rexus. Go ahead now. I'll correct it next time. Sorry.
What do you have my initiative as?
I had you as right after Istrika, so I apologize.
Yeah, because I know earlier I said 22, but it totally was not 22.
No, it was 7. Yeah.
Okay, or 7. Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait.
Okay.
I take that back because Null's had a 14, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then no, this is right. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. This is when you should be going. I just had you in the wrong spot, which is why I missed you. So yes.
Got it. So yes, everyone's favorite modified dentist cybermancer. Is gonna go.
That's what I meant.
Okay. So it is my turn. I'm going to. Oh boy.
Very injured, shadowed, little injured Istrika.
Okay. How many other Spirit Caller initiates are still standing and being threatening?
None of them are standing at the moment. There are a number of them that are prone. Some look like they might be unconscious.
Okay.
But you don't know yet whether any of them are, living, dead, or sort of what their status is beyond that.
There were 2 that were threatening, but they've gone down.
Right.
I see. And there were, let me see, like 30. Oh wait, no. Yeah, 10 hopefuls, 10 attendants, handful of other people.
Right. Most of them, though, remember, had not, because you switched out the wine. So most of them had not drunk the wine that apparently would make you susceptible to control.
So that is to say that the others who weren't aggressing towards us are kind of like standing out of bounds.
Yeah, they're all like, what the hell is going on? Like, they're basically just like, what the hell is this?
Cool. Okay. I'm kind of worried about Fob. But then I also see Titus's like glowing laser blast light saying, hit me on Istrika.
Yep.
So, because then it'll be a while, because then Titus goes first. So yeah, I have to use it. So I'm going to use Sprite Beam. I'd like to think that, as Diraxis used the perfectly balanced reaction to help Titus save, that some of the code and the cyber stuff from the sim that Draxus uses, he like projected in front of Titus to be a barrier of the illusion he was seeing.
Okay.
And then Draxus redirects the sprites, and well, it's literally called Sprite Beam is the ability, redirects them towards Ostrika. So this is essentially Eldritch Blast from
Okay.
D&D.
Okay.
And I think I would get advantage because Laser Blast the next
Yeah.
attack roll against. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's do it. So here we go. I have a pretty good bonus. That's already probably going to do it. And twice over, so 21 to hit.
21 will definitely hit.
Great. Okay. And then... okay. Oh, I should... Oh, I can do both. Ooh, do I want to, though? Okay, I'll
What
save
is
for
it, the
later.
both that you could be doing?
No, it's okay. I should have done it later. I can do it right now. It's all right. We're all good. Okay. I'll take it. That's lovely damage. 8 points of force damage to
Okay.
Ostrika.
Okay.
And... Ooh. I still have that shadow. Yeah. I think I'm gonna hang out for now. That's it for me. I'm gonna see how the rest of everything plays out. Draxus is going to get closer to everyone. So maybe I'll move like 20 feet up. So I'm still a little back,
Okay.
but a little closer.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right, sounds good. Now everyone's favorite modified, dire wolf will come in, comes charging at the shadow, and leaps to the attack. Let's see if it leaps effectively. Yes, that's fairly effective, I'd say. Let's see about the damage though. Okay. So the jaws, sort of, any normal individual would probably have been killed by this attack, but instead the bite passes through, not harmlessly. It definitely does damage the shadow, but there is a moment where you see this kind of like it sort of I guess almost feels like he's chewing something soft like skin, but then his jaw sort of snaps and he passes through the rest of the way. The creature is even more sort of, indistinct now, and looks, as I said, exceedingly hurt at this point, but is not quite destroyed, not quite dead. As we move to the top of the next round, one of the affected acolytes that was knocked down groggily gets to their feet. At the moment, though, they're just swaying in place. You don't know exactly what's going on with them. They seem to be, they're obviously hurt, but they're also trying to kind of, it seems like they're shaking their head as if like getting out the cobwebs, and are not quite able to sort of process, it seems, what has happened so far, for whatever that's worth. Which leads us to Titus at the beginning of the round with Fob on deck. So Titus, what would you like to do? Horrifically hurt Shadow, and Ustrika, who has been, roughed up a bit, but is still okay.
Okay, so I actually did not do something last round like I was expecting, or I should have, because I had launched a assault drone at the beginning of the combat,
Right.
and so that thing is still floating around, and it's going to move towards Ostrika.
Now that the barrier's clear, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, it's going to move towards Ostrika and make an attack.
Okay.
Let's see. When you first activate the thing, blah blah blah. It's a melee forging attack against her, basically. So I'll
Okay.
do the same thing.
Okay.
And does a 14 hit?
A 14 will not hit,
Okay.
unfortunately. Laser goes wide.
And it's just going to continue to hover around her, waiting to attack her again, basically.
Okay.
All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move right up next to Fob,
Okay.
standing behind them, and then I'm going to use Mend.
Okay. Reaching
Alright,
out and touching
so-
Fob.
1d8 plus 4, and heal Fob for 9 points of damage. Or 9 hit points.
Okay. Lovely. That heals hit points, although not strength. Be aware, Fob. You're still weakened, but the hit points are restored. Okay.
Have you just had a quick question before it's the end of my turn? Have you mentioned exactly what is actually like what type of an effect it is on Fob?
Yes, there is a draining of strength and a coldness seeping through Fob's body that is increased with every hit that the shadow has landed on Fob.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Sorry.
Speaking of Fob, Fob is up.
All right, this time I'm going to use steady aim to give myself advantage on this attack.
Lovely.
I will go with the 25.
Amazing.
25 will hit. And by the way, that was a dagger that you were doing that with,
That's
or
dagger.
That was the dagger. Okay.
And 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Okay. As you strike it, even though we're going to resist part of that damage, it's not going to resist enough based on how hurt it was before, and so your dagger plunges into it, and although you feel the cold seeping through your bones, the shadow does dissipate, waver and dissipates into the air. And so, Fob, you are left now staring at Ustrika and the one wavering acolyte who's kind of, sort of like groggily standing, and then the people in the side of the room, the side of the clearing.
I'm going to snarl in a menacing fashion.
Okay, they will take that into account. Are you going to move out of the way now that you're clear of the shadow, Fob, or?
I can't because I did steady aim.
Oh yeah, because you did steady aim. That's right, because you can't move. Got it. All right. That means it is Ustrika's turn. So, Ustrika looks around, and let's see, looks at Dr. Jaraxis.
Yes.
Who just made the previous, save for Titus.
And I do have there are 3 other, because I have Clone Pack up, there are 3 other Dr. Jaraxis illusions spinning around me.
That's right,
Dr.
actually.
Jaraxi.
Jaraxi.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, actually. When she makes this attack. Interesting. I'm trying to think about, because she sees 3 of you.
Yeah. She would probably sense that I'm a hard to hit target right now.
3 or 4? Did you just say you make 3 copies? 3 copies.
Yeah,
of yourself?
so it's myself and 3 holographic duplicates.
Yeah, so 4 of you. Yeah, so then she probably won't do this attack on you then, so I changed my mind.
But she might be 4 times as threatened.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Definitely 4 times as threatened, but no, I think she's going to turn towards Nulls next then. And Null is going to point at you, Nulls, and is going to say, "The time has come for you to join the spirits." And her dark, swirling eyes widen. "I need you to make a wisdom save for me, please, Nulls."
That's me doing the wisdom on... Oh, I see saving throws. Okay. That's not going to be enough, I'm sure.
Ooh,
I can't do anything about that.
Yeah. You hear in the background. Although, in fairness, normally this is kind of ex post facto a little bit, but I do know that Hilness had asked if anyone needs inspiration. But I don't know if you would have asked for that necessarily either, Toya. So would you have wanted inspiration or not, do you think? I'm not sure.
Right
Do you want
here?
to succeed on this roll?
Well,
yeah,
or no?
I would want to succeed on that.
Yeah,
one,
I
sure.
don't want to be that guy, but since we did ask this before, Hilness, are you still interested in inspiring or not? Double checks, waits to see, considers the possibilities, holds.
Calculates the math.
Okay. Apparently, I don't think so. It looks like Hilness is not here at the moment. I can't actually do the inspiration for Hilness. So, all right. So, as you are, as the sort of the darkness of the eyes swirl, You hear in the back of your mind, Knowles. Oh, there's Hillness. Yes,
you hear in the back of your mind.
You hear Hillness say, Knowles? It is in fact Knowles. Do you wish to inspire Knowles? Oh, that's true. Tim Coolish may also have an inspiration. So, Hillness has inspired Knowles. Thank you, Hillness.
Yay.
All right.
Okay, let's
can
thank
try
you
that
so
one more
much.
time.
Alrighty, come on. Come on.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Worth a try.
it
It
was
is
worth a try
better.
anyway.
It is better.
It's somewhat better.
By 20%.
Yeah.
Ish.
So, as you're listening, you hear in the back of your mind, you realize the land has called to you. The spirits need you. Your dreams have told you this. And the effect of this is, as you look at Ustrika Knowles, you suddenly realize the kindness with which Ustrika has tried to treat the people around you. She's not fighting you. She's trying to maintain her hold with the spirit world. And why would you, who understands the need to connect to the world beyond, want to keep her from doing that? The effect of this is that at the moment, you are charmed by Ustrika, which means, Knowles, that you view, you're not under her control, but you view Ustrika's requests or actions in the most favorable way that you possibly can. The good news about this is that at the start of each of your turns, you can repeat the saving throw. So you can repeat at the beginning of your turn, but as of right now, you think Ustrika's pretty nice.
I've got a really quick question,
Sure.
because that's like the first time this happened.
Yes.
Like, how does one get uncharmed?
So you make it
Just by the saving throw?
By the saving throw, that's right.
Okay.
And presumably, I guess if you kill Ustrika, that probably would help.
Yeah.
But and Ustrika says to you, "I'm glad you understand. Since you understand, it's important that you actually help me. Help me against the people around you. You don't want your friends to make a mistake, do you? Have them stop fighting me." And she basically asks you to stop your friends. Now, you can interpret stop how you like, but you can't interpret it as, I'll stop them by elbowing you in the face. Like, you can't, you have to be fair about it. So that's the deal. Ustrika then, with a small smile, which looks super creepy to Fob, Titus, and Jaraxxus, but seems very warm and inviting to Knowles, steps back takes another step away. And now it is conveniently Knowles' turn. So Knowles,
is this the charmed condition?
She is currently under the charmed condition. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Just make sure, because there's like the mechanic aspect of that too. Is that as Greg described, you literally can't attack her or target her with anything harmful.
Right.
At all.
I can make a saving throw now, right?
You can at the beginning of your turn. That's right.
All right.
Let's see. That is an 11. That is not enough, I'm afraid. You can repeat the save next turn, but... So, Knowles, what would you like to do, recognizing Ustrika as your new best friend?
So, Knowles is going to make an appeal to her friends. Maybe this bish ain't so much bish. Maybe we were wrong about this bish. And maybe she's just doing the best that a bish can, because it's hard out here for all of us.
Through gritted teeth. Okay. Where do you want to move, Knowles, keeping in mind everything I've previously said about the current state of things?
I'm just going to take a step back.
Okay. So, yeah, that's true. You can, so Tim, if you wish, you can inspire. I saw that you put in the inspire. So you can inspire one of the players, including you could inspire Knowles next time to help make her next saving throw. Okay. So, yeah, I was going to say, we're not inspiring Balls to do anything. All right? Balls, no one likes Balls. But we are going to inspire Knowles. So, All right, so Nulls, you'll have an opportunity to do that same check at advantage next turn, but unfortunately it doesn't help you this time. Okay, Jaraxxus, you have just heard what Nulls has said. What would you like to do?
The effect that Ostrika has used, like affecting Nalik's mind, and the, villainous speech that Ostrika said, like, see beyond the veil, see what I'm, all this,
Yes.
Is she verbally saying that? Is it obvious to me?
It is,
okay.
It is definitely not verbal.
Okay. Jaraxxus will then be confused and looks at Nalik and says, What do you mean? What?
I'm just saying the bitch ain't so bad. She's a bad bitch, but she ain't a bad bitch.
Uncle Bones? Are you okay, Nalik? Is this what's going on? I'm confused on who. Do I have any ability within the game for Jaraxxus to detect that charm, or is it just my intuition? Like, could I insight or
I
something?
would allow you. You can make an insight check. I would allow that. If you do anything stronger than that, that would have to be an action. But I'll let you an insight as a bonus action. That's reasonable.
What's the DC, or am I rolling against someone? You're just rolling an insight check. I know right.
what the score is that you'd have to beat.
Got it. 20 total.
Yeah, this is not the way that Nulls typically talks, or rather, it's the way Nulls would typically talk if it were an AI version. It's the generative AI version of Nulls Darkly, is what I'm saying. Something's not quite right, for sure.
The generative AI version, great.
Yep.
Okay, Jaraxxus sneers a little bit and then looks at Ostrika, and right now, her shadows are gone. It's just us, a dire wolf, and a bunch of scared initiates, right? Ostrika's just facing us one-on-one, right?
That's right.
Okay. Gosh. Okay, I think I'm gonna try, we're not like as much as Zach, the player, loves violence in D&D fights. I don't know if Jaraxxus is, trying to kill people or hurt people. So I think Jaraxxus is going to use his only other talent slot or tech slot to cast Pacify, which, if it works, does exactly what its name is. Okay. So Pacify says, you attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. I'm essentially going to try to charm her in a way. So it says, each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point I choose within range. I'm going to choose, if I could, because it's within 60 feet, a point that just encompasses her and any acolytes that look like they're maybe like ready to jump to her side or something.
Okay,
there's the wavering one. That's the one that's
Ostrika and the wavering acolyte is basically what you're looking to do.
That would be great if I can catch both of them in a 20-foot radius sphere, but not catch any of us necessarily. Okay. So it says they must make a charisma saving throw. A creature can choose to fail if it wishes, and I think Jaraxxus, as he casts this, would say, "Look, we just want to talk about what you're doing here." And Jaraxxus is going to cast a spell, so charisma save. The DC is 14.
Okay. And
I can make on a failure, a target can become indifferent about creatures of my choice that it's hostile toward. The indifference ends if it's further attacked or harmed. Okay. So essentially, if this works, she would, yield.
Okay,
hopefully.
So you do that. The acolyte who was wavering grabs her head and screams in apparent pain and falls over.
Oh, the acolyte grabs the acolyte's head.
Yeah, like,
yes.
Type of thing, right?
I was thinking she's grabbing Ostrika's head for a
Grabs
second.
Ostrika's head,
Jaraxxus says, are you allergic to diplomacy? What's going on?
You don't know exactly what happened here, Jaraxxus, but it seems like there was a...
Can I
a battle for of wills,
right?
Perhaps.
I do have, given that. Oh, what am I thinking? I can I have put the sphere? Draxus has put together with that insight check earlier, right? That something's weird going on with nulls. Another effect of Pacify says you can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. So can I also catch Nalik in that? And if the Acolyte is charmed or frightened, then can I end it?
Well, I
And
need to
that
look at
suppress that effect?
That'd be pretty powerful. I need to look at Pacify then.
Okay. It's similar to calm emotions in D&D. But
right.
yeah, charmed and frightened are both. It would be ending the condition. So like, if the Acolyte is like more deeply charmed than just the condition, then sure. But anyway, and it does its concentration up to a minute. So technically, like, it only suppresses it. It doesn't like get rid of it forever.
Okay. You can suppress any effect. It's not even a DC on this.
Well, the DC is the charisma save.
It's the actual saving throw.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I still think what I described happens, but what happens is the Acolyte then drops to her knees and then looks around and kind of says, after the scream, and says, what's happening? And kind of grabs her head. Now, the interesting thing about this that I have to think about is with nulls. Because technically, nulls can choose to fail the saving throw, except I don't think...
Yeah.
How did you word this, Jaraxxus?
I said... I would have said something along the lines of, yeah, stop fighting, we just want to talk about what's going on. That's all. But...
I don't think that nulls would agree to be charmed by you when already charmed, so I think nulls has to make this charisma saving throw.
Makes sense.
The hope is that nulls fails it. But we will see. So nulls, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
And,
actually, I will say to chat. So nulls have, wait, whoa, don't, what was that? Don't do that
12.
Yet. Okay.
It already did.
12. What
failed.
was the DC? Oh, it's already failed.
14. So it's in our favor, yeah.
Okay, then never mind. Because I was going to say what you could do is you could use your inspiration. Remember, inspiration means that you choose to take the roll you want. You don't have to take the higher. So you could have theoretically rolled twice. But in this case,
so now it's suppressed, right?
Yes. So you're kind of like
so now Null's got to say something, right?
Yes. You have a little bit of a headache too, Nulls.
Oh, that's fine. So Null just goes, talk to the bitch who cares, cause that ain't me.
Oh man.
Okay. I love it. Okay, that was
Jaraxxus
and
yeah. What is Astrika's reaction though? Because my goal with her is, I mean, she's not charming herself necessarily, but to make her indifferent.
It does not affect her.
Got it.
There was a save that was involved, but yes, she was not affected.
Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay. All right. Well, so Gamork, who is finished off, Gamork, who's right next to the shadow, and growls angrily, and then springs forward. So just to be clear to chat, so Draxus says, "Let's just talk about this thing," and like 3 seconds later, Gamork goes charging to go like talk about it this way. Gamork leaps up at Ustrika. So let's see if Gamork is going to. But Gamork is not going to hit, I'm sorry to say. Ustrika passes out of the, actually sort of like dodges out of the way, quite nimbly in fact, and Gamork misses and growls angrily. Okay, so that is going to bring us up to the top of the round. Titus, you are going to be up first. The only thing left now is Ustrika. Apparently, Nulls is back to normal, at least for the moment. And apparently, the Acolyte is back to normal at the moment. So you're just dealing with Ustrika right now.
Okay, first things first. Gonna make a melee forging attack with the drone, moving into range again.
Okay.
With a 19.
19 will hit, yep.
Okay, give me 1 second as I roll the damage. The damage coming from that little guy is going to be.
Talk to the hand
yes.
next. Yeah.
How about 10 points of radiant damage?
10 points of radiant damage. Okay. She does not like that at all. Okay. And now what are you going to do, Titus, now that your drone is gone?
Nulls, what's your hit points again?
I'm at 14.
All right, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move out from behind Fob and take another laser blast directly at Astrika.
Okay.
How about 15?
15 will not hit, unfortunately. Wow. The second time that thing is missed, the laser blast goes past. Titus, are you staying where you are?
I'm gonna find some cover.
Wait, I think, Titus, what's your spellcasting ability modifier? Shouldn't it be? What's your wisdom? I'm assuming it's your wisdom or your intelligence, like your main spellcasting ability.
It's gonna be wisdom, and it's
a +2.
You are right. It is a +2. I've been rolling that wrong. Holy crap.
Wait. Well, no. I think you're good, because I was thinking it was higher than that. Like, for example, when Fob attacks with a dagger, Fob's base dexterity, Fob has like +4 dexterity, right? But if you just have a +2 in intelligence, then never mind. Because I was thinking you weren't adding your proficiency to that, but I think you are. Your intelligence is just not higher.
Your wisdom.
You're just too dumb.
Or whichever one. Yeah, you're just too dumb, Titus.
You're just not wise enough. Okay. So, okay, Titus, you're staying. Are you moving, or are you staying where you are?
I'm finding cover.
Okay, that's right. You said cover. That's right. Okay, that leads us to Fob, weakened but a little bit better health-wise, anyway.
And how far away am I from Ostrika?
Probably about 15 feet. You could move up and engage if you wish.
Well, then I'm going to. I'm actually not going to move. I'm going to use steady aim, and I'm going to throw a dagger.
Oh, nice. Yep. Okay.
Cool.
So let's.
Power of steady aim.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And can I use my bardic inspiration on the first one of those?
Sure, absolutely. It's plus 1d6.
Yep.
Okay.
I think so.
So 6.
Oh,
so
yeah.
19.
19 will hit. Yeah, that's nice. Good time for that inspiration.
Is anyone? Are any of us next to a streaker right now? Is
Gamork is.
Gamork?
Yep.
So that would give sneak attack too.
Yep.
Awesome.
So what does that do with sneak attack? Do I?
That's your dagger's damage, and then I forget how much your sneak attack is at this level.
Let me take.
You'd have to look, but it's probably like an extra
8 billion damage.
Oh, an
8
extra
billion damage.
2d6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D4, 2d6, and yep,
12.
you got it.
Okay, so a total of how much?
12.
Total of 12 damage. Okay. So, all right. So that dagger strikes and embeds in her shoulder, and she kind of staggers back and glares at you, and then looks at you and, let's see, says, "It is clear that none of you are thinking the way you should, and thus it is my time to dictate what must happen next." And she waves her hands, and a massive globe of darkness surrounds her, and then, almost as if she were rolling it in your direction, she pushes it, and it explodes outwards. So I need all 4 of you. Let me see. Actually, wait. I'll take that back. So we've got, because Fob stayed where she was, so it'd be Fob, Nulls, and Titus. I don't think Jaraxxus is affected by this because Jaraxxus is a little bit back. But Titus, Nulls, and Fob. I need you all, please, to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh no.
Reminder, Nulls has an inspiration available.
Ooh.
All right.
Jiraxis is watching a train wreck in slow motion right now.
We get a 6 from Titus. We have a 13 from Nulls. We have an 11 from Fob. Nulls, are you using that inspiration or not?
Do I need to?
I don't. You have to decide before I tell you that.
He pleads the fifth edition rules of D&D.
Yes.
I would think that would be. Okay,
Do you think
I'll
it'll be
use.
wise?
I am being told that I need to. So, yeah.
No, it could. I don't know. It could be 13 or 14. That's my guess.
So Kat and Johnny are like, take it. So.
Okay.
Great. Well, let's see. So it was worse anyway.
Oh, okay. So all of you, the three that I just mentioned, the three of you, except for Titus.
Except for me.
I'm sorry, except for Jiraxis. The three of you suddenly feel as if you are, I would put it this way, imagine as if you were standing in a darkened room, and then you feel the room begin to shift under your feet as if you are being moved off of it, like the whole room is off its axis and you with it. The result of it is that the three of you are confused. And what that means is that at the beginning of each round, actually starting with Nulls, because you're up next, I need you to roll a d10 for me, please.
Oh, God.
It's like a pattern in how a streak does things.
Did it actually roll? Because it's not.
I don't see
showing...
it yet. I do not see a d10.
Okay. Whenever I try to roll that thing, it doesn't seem to work. Or maybe I just need to do it again? I don't know.
I do not.
No, now it just says I've rolled it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
You could just tell me what it is then. I trust you.
No, it hasn't rolled at all.
Oh.
Like, I don't see anything on my end either.
Oh, I see.
Like, I hit D10 and a little 1 shows up above the die.
Above everyone roll. Yeah, and then do you see still in the bottom left of your screen, it should say roll. I don't think you rolled it yet.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Yeah. There
we go. Okay. So Nulls, you just, as you feel the room underneath you shifting, all of your energy is being placed towards trying to stay in balance. The mechanical effect of which is that you do nothing this turn. So you just
not as bad as it could be, I guess.
Stand in one place. That's right. Jiraxis, you see your companions just sort of like staring blankly. So you're up though. You are not affected by this. Also, I should mention Gamork too is standing there growling lightly, but sort of like staring around.
Oh God! So I'm the only one.
Yep.
Shannon better wake that A up.
Yeah. Is Shannon? Is this guy just still standing there watching, doing
nothing?
No,
Shannon seems to be like looking for something within his robe. You don't know what it is yet.
Okay. He's looking for the note that we
so
gave him.
He actually is doing something.
He is doing something, yes.
Okay.
You get the impression, Nulls, remember this has all happened over about 18 seconds, that what he's trying to do is figure out what he's going to do about his superior, who seems to have lost it. And it's kind of like, what do I do now? And is coming to the conclusion that he has to do something. But you know.
Yeah, well, that's nice to do. That's nice to know.
So
thanks for your help, Shannon. Really.
I don't have to hate him.
Yeah.
Question is, the darkness that she rolled out to create this confusion, does that remain?
No, it did not. It just
Okay.
flowed out and then dissipated. But they are still affected by it.
Yeah. Knowing what I know, I think the best thing I can do is try to remove Ostrika from the playing field. But let me see the best way to do that. I have one more potential ability. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Oh, and I can't cast that anymore. Wow. Okay, I think I'm going to sprite beam again. I think the best thing I can do is just some damage to Ostrika.
Okay.
If this gets any worse, then I guess we'll go for even more drastic measures. But yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I love a 20 total.
20.
It's great for me.
Yep, absolutely hit.
A lovely 2 points of damage.
He accepts the 2 points of damage.
Thank you. And Jaraxxus is going to... Jaraxxus is going to grab whoever's closest to him. Would that be, like, Titus, I guess? I know I was a little far back, but...
Yeah, I mean, you're not right. You'd need to move up to Titus, but yes.
Okay, I do so. And I grab his shoulder, and I say, "Snap out of it! Snap out of it!"
Okay.
And that's my movement. And that's my turn. I look up with concern at Ostrika.
All right, let's see what happens, first of all, with Gamork.
Oh wait, does my
sorry,
damage prompt? Yeah. I was like,
yeah,
why did I do that?
There's 2 things about that. One,
okay.
Yes, I'm gonna address that in a minute. But
All
first of all, Nulls, I forgot to give you a Wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn to see if you can save out of this effect. Sorry.
All right.
Oh.
You want me to take that now?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. That's the end of your turn, so it wouldn't have affected your turn, but...
It won't matter
no,
anyway, apparently.
Sorry, that's not going to get the job done, I'm afraid.
What's Tree Lady's name again?
Ustrika?
Glimmerleaf? No,
Glimmerleaf, yes.
Yeah.
Glimmerleaf, you don't know where Glimmerleaf is right now, though, to be honest. Glimmerleaf might have been away, getting stuff to serve, because Glimmerleaf was here, there, and everywhere. Okay, what was I... Oh, yes, has to make a con save. Yeah, okay. Does manage to hold on to the effect.
Yeah.
But it was a good thought. I'll keep that in mind for the future. All right, Now let me see. Does everyone's favorite wolf Gamork? No, Gamork is not going to save out of it. And what Gamork is going to do is Gamork is going to stand there slack-jawed, which is exactly what happened to Nulls. All right, that's going to bring us to the top of the round. Titus, I need you to roll a d10, please.
Ugh. Oh, does Gamork get a chance to save out at the end of his turn?
Yeah, he missed the save. I did that originally.
Okay.
What the hell?
1 divided
Hold
by
on a
a
second.
2
Titus
on a d10.
implodes,
Wait,
and-
we just learned something really interesting. You can do math with unresolved dice that it will resolve as part of the math. That's cool.
Yeah.
Titus divides by 0, and okay.
Got the same result, basically.
Okay, now, let's see. I need you now to roll a d8.
Ooh.
Is it gonna be a D6 after this, or maybe a D4?
Maybe I'll keep moving it down. We'll see.
Coin?
No, this is actually determining...
How long till we realize this is all he's doing?
This is determining, actually, direction. So what this means is that you are going to move to the northwest. I know we're doing this Theater of the Mind. So you're basically going to move away at your full movement. So you're going to double move away 50 feet. You're basically just going to move, past where the barrier was, away, is essentially what you do. And as you're doing this, Titus, in your mind, what you think you're doing is trying to sort of stay above the room as you're sort of tilting. So you're trying to stay on top of it as you're walking. Yeah, go ahead, Titus. And then you can make your wisdom save to try to get out of this. But go ahead and say what you're going to say.
All right. So if I make my so I have to take the move.
Yes.
Then I can make my wisdom save.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Because I'm gonna have a question for you after if I get out of this.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Wisdom saving throw. Let's make this happen. Come on.
Joys of facing a creature.
No
that charms
whammies.
people.
How about a 20?
Yeah. Titus, you do actually at the end of that move. You see at the very end of it. There is almost like a lip on the floor as if you were reaching up for the wall, and when you grab, like as if it's become a wall basically, and as you pull yourself over it, you have the strange experience of feeling like you're clambering out into the Dew Dreams garden again. And so when you come out on the other side of it, you're staring, and you see Fob and Null sort of staring slack-jawed along with Gamork, Ustrika standing there, and then you see Jaraxxus looking, and I quote, with concern at Ustrika, and you are in charge of your emotions again, although you can't do anything else this turn, but you are no longer confused by what has happened. You said you had a question.
Can't do anything this turn?
Can't do anything. End of the turn.
No.
No
I still have a drone, damn it.
Can't do it. Sorry.
All right.
She's a pain in the ass, I know. Okay. Let's see. And the assault drone, in the meantime, just sort of floated around, basically, waiting for stuff. Hi, Optic. Hi, Drew. Okay. Fob, you are up next, and I need you as well, please, to roll a d10 for me.
7.
Ah. Oh, boy.
No.
Fob, you are standing near to whom exactly? I believe you're standing near Knowles, if I'm not mistaken. And then you were standing near... okay, well, this is interesting. So Titus moved out of the way. So you have Gamork, Knowles, and Ustrika within melee range.
Ooh.
We're going to assign Gamork is going to be... Oh, and the Acolyte. So that's 4. So we're going to make Gamork is going to be 1. Knowles is going to be 2, Ustrika is going to be 3, and the Acolyte is going to be 4. I need you to roll a d4, and the winner...
Oh, no.
1, which is, what I say,
Gamork.
I rolled a 1.
Which is Gamork. You need to make a melee attack against Gamork.
Oh, God. Oh, Gamork, forgive me. Does a 14 hit?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, actually, that's wisdom. That's right. Let me...
I was going to say, wait a minute. Now, you do have your weakness with the strength, but I don't know that that matters with... Because you're using Dex.
18.
18 will hit Gamork. I'm trying to decide if this is sneak attack damage. I mean...
I'm confused, so I don't know how sneaky I am.
Yeah, I'm not sneaky.
It would be if something... Generally, if something is giving advantage to...
the fact that Gamork is confused and doesn't know what's going on would be pretty clear advantage. And unfortunately, Fob, as you were in the prison of your mind, this thing that you see is this terrible, slithering, shadowy creature that is crawling down the floor towards you as it's tipping. So when you strike, you feel like you're striking at the shadowy creature. So I'm going to need you to roll damage.
How about 10 points?
Wow, and that for you actually is not your typical amazing roll. Okay. Yeah, you strike Gamork, and Gamork sort of staggers back.
But Gamork is confused,
right,
so
exactly.
he may not know it was me.
That's right. It's exactly
That's the
right.
part I want to be clear on.
That's exactly right, because that's actually exactly right, because Gamork snaps at the air, but seems very much like, like almost, obviously Gamork is already doesn't see traditionally, but is like sort of looking around and snapping at the air as if you've just hit something little, this creature, but it does not know that it's you. That said, though, that was a good strike. Gamork is looking kind of hurt.
And now I can roll my wisdom save.
Now you can roll your wisdom saving throw. Yes.
18.
Hey, there you go. With that 18, as you strike the shadowy creature, it bursts and the room bursts, and you come back to yourself, seeing yourself pulling your dagger out of Gamork's hide.
Well, I'll just wipe that dagger quickly.
No one saw anything.
Everyone's confused. All
Yeah.
right, I don't quite know what happened, but I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. All right, next person.
Okay, sleep well, Holmes. So that's going to lead us to Ustrika's turn. Let's see. Ustrika can't try to charm Jaraxxus. All right. So, Ustrika.
So I'm already too charming.
That's clearly the reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Ustrika is going to stare at you, Jaraxxus. When I say you, I mean you. And is going to point at you and say, "I am sorry that it has come to this." And then something streaks out from her hand. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh, please say any other kind of save.
It's a
Dungeon Master.
It's a jagged amount of light or
Whoa.
electrical energy.
Hey, how's a
Hey!
nat 20 for a 19?
That is
Nice.
very nice. Okay, that means you won't take as much of the damage that you're about to take. Okay. You are going to take 16 points of damage. To be clear, that would have been 32 if you hadn't made that save.
Oh.
Okay, of lightning damage. Which now you had 6 temp, right? So
That's right.
that means you're sitting at 11 regular now, I think.
Sounds like, yeah.
I think so.
So,
Okay.
10, yeah.
Unfortunately, the person who was in the way of you was the acolyte, and they are blasted. And actually, their body slams into you, and then they drop to the ground, and you smell sizzling, sort of burning upon them as they drop to the ground. Nulls, that is going to lead us to, unless Draxus has a use lightning to resist thing.
No, I'm like cradling the, holding up the body from the underarms.
Yeah.
Was this the same lightning that streaked off of that Mavra redirected? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No. This was not that. No. Very important to specify. No, this does not look like that. You know what? Because you asked me that question, make a perception check for me.
Yeah. I think Draxus. Well, yeah. Let me make the perception check. I'm not super perceptive though, so there's a 5 for you.
You didn't really get a good look at it, but
okay.
That's okay.
All right.
So that is going to lead us to Nulls. Nulls, you are in control of your faculties again. Although, wait, no, you're not, because you've been.
No, I'm not.
I take that back. No, you're not. I need you to roll. I need you to roll then for me, please, a 1d10. You'll get a chance to make that saving throw at the end of your turn again, but. Okay. It's the classic you do nothing, which is maybe better than attacking people next to you. Go ahead and make that wisdom saving throw. You're still trying to keep your balance in this dark and shadowy room of your mind.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So as you come to the end of this, you kind of pull yourself again up over the wall in the way that I've previously described for Titus. Pull yourself up out of it and find yourself again back in the Dewdream's garden. You see Fob standing next to, or maybe hurriedly trying to clean off a dagger next to Gamork. You also see Jaraxxus cradling the devastated body of an acolyte. You see a very badly hurt Ustrika, and then you see Titus kind of staring, not staring, but like, horrified look, like clearly in control of his faculties.
And Shannon is still fiddling around with the robes.
And Shannon is, yes, but Shannon is pulling something forth. You're not sure what it is, but it seems to be, it's kind of a glowing...
a pistol.
It seems to be some kind of a glowing symbol of some kind, a handheld, maybe a religious symbol. You can't quite make out what it is yet. Okay, but Nulls, at least you'll be in charge of your faculties for next turn. Jaraxxus, you have just been zapped quite a bit. Ustrika, badly hurt, but not dead yet. Gamork, stricken.
Yeah, I gingerly lay down the body of this person that just fell onto me on the grass, and then look up at Ustrika, and all 4 Jaraxxuses rage, yell, and I'm going to cast Sprite Beam again. Last first same as the first. And all of the Jaraxxi Sprite Beam together. But I don't know. I've been rolling pretty well, which means I roll barely not enough.
13 is not going to do it, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I think then, we're at that level where it's like we got our 1 or 2 things that we can do, at least for me. I'm... Okay, I have a question that could be relevant.
Okay.
So, another thing that maybe we have neglected to think about is there were city commissioned guards here right?
There are city commission guards, but they have not been doing anything. There were
Really?
one or two of them that was, yeah. And some of these have been, you wonder, Jaraxis, if they may have been well, actually, I can't say this because you haven't been through it, but you've seen Estrika's power of command, and it's possible that they have been fighting through that. It's conceivable.
Okay.
She's obviously an exceedingly powerful person.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
named one, Vasine,
That's
was
right.
what part of one of the Primarch's security.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so they're in a similar state as the other initiates that haven't gotten involved.
Apparently, which is better than the initiates who've tried to attack you. But
yeah. Okay. Well, that is my turn. I think Jaraxis would try to equalize the distance between himself and Titus. Like, if Titus has drifted away from the rest of the group a little bit, and we're all kind of sort of clustered in the same area, Jaraxis is now going to make the constellation such that it's Ostrika, Nalik and Fob, Jaraxis, and then Titus.
Okay.
In direction. So
Okay,
I'll just
sounds
move
good.
a little further away.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So Gamork's turn. Gamork sort of like shakes his head, maybe because he's been struck by a dagger, maybe because of something else. Hello, Optic. And Gamork sort of growls, and then says, and Nulls, because you've come out of this, oh no, you don't have your Speak with Animals thing up, so never mind. But you see Gamork sort of glaring up at Ustrika and grumbles, and then leaps up at Ustrika.
That doesn't need to be translated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like suck it in any language, something like that. But unfortunately, maybe just having come out of his confusion misses. And rolls to stop on the other side, but shakes his head again and looks angrily at Ostrika. So it seems now that he has in fact saved out of his condition.
So that's everybody now, right?
That
Everybody's out.
I think everybody is out now, I believe. So yes, so that's going to bring us up to Titus, top of the round.
Titus, first thing he's going to do is going to move 25 feet toward Ostrika,
Okay.
sort of closing the distance between him and Jaraxis.
Okay. Like turning around and running exactly back in the other direction. Like,
As that's happening, my drone is going to make their attack
okay.
on Ostrika.
Yep.
And is a 14 going to hit?
No,
Okay.
not good enough.
Then Titus, as he moves into range, is then going to laser blast her again
Okay. I said laser
for
blast.
22.
Oh yeah, that
Nice.
was it.
All right, and so that is
Do it.
46 plus 1. With
Okay.
14 points of damage.
Yep. Okay.
And she is lit up like a beacon for the next person to attack her.
Well, when you hit her like this, there is a moment where you feel the pressure around your ears building, and all falls silent for a moment, and you can see her eyes swirling dark, and then you see her wincing in what looks like terrible pain, and she sort of bends down to the ground, and she then now, if I were not in a hotel room, I would now shout at the loudest possible volume that I could. She screams.
No, go for it.
Yeah, sure, thanks. She screams with an unearthly howl, and a globe of swirling darkness explodes from her body. I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Three.
14.
Oh,
Jeez.
14. Wait, do I have 3, 14,
Yeah.
3, and 10?
yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. Those of you who did not make the save, which
What's
is
this?
Just about everybody.
which is oh yes, I should say anybody who Let's see.
Is 14 enough for Titus?
Yes. So Titus saves, nobody else does.
Ooh.
Titus, you are going to take 5 points of psychic damage. Everyone else is going to take 10 points of psychic damage.
Jeez.
So Bob
Okay,
at
so what
2.
does that translate to?
So just 10. So that means you're down to 4 points nulls, I believe. Jaraxxus is at 1.
Bob's at 2.
Yep. And Gamork slips and falls and lies on the ground. Now, you don't know whether what that means for Gamork, but we'll come back to that. Ustrika then, sort of holding her head, says, "It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone." Her voice is normal. Her eyes are no longer black. Her pupils are returned to normal size. And it's for a moment as if you're looking into a normal looking Twilight elf. And Ustrika sort of kind of looks at you from her knees and says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." She draws her weapon from her belt and tosses it aside and lets it clatter on the ground. And sort of lowers her head and she says, "I'm sorry." All of the acolytes who are standing there kind of shake their heads, and you see the guard suddenly comes bustling over. And you can see as well that Shannon, who was holding the symbol towards Ustrika, sort of lowers it. And Nulls, I want to point this out to you because you were the one who had spoken to Shannon directly. As you see the symbol beginning to dull in its luster. It looked as if this thing were building up for some massive attack, and now it's standing down as he sort of sees what's happened to her. So take that as you will. You can discuss that with Shannon later if you wish. She says, I am so sorry. This is not me. It was not me. What is it? And then she looks around and she sees Mavra, and she lets out a small little scream. And she says, and then she sees the acolyte that you were holding, Jaraxxus, and she falls to her hands. She's like already on her hands and knees already, and she drops her head to the ground and weeps.
Are we out of combat?
Yes.
Titus is going to immediately activate Rejuvenation.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm going to send 1 drone each, little drones from my rig, and restore everybody, or Jaraxxus, Nulls, and Fob with 5 points apiece.
Okay.
Hit points. The 4th one is going to go over to Gamork.
Okay.
As I'm moving towards Gamork. Does it seem to have any effect?
I will respond to that in a second. I just want to confirm something. So 5 points. You sent it out to Fob, so that means Fob's at 7 now, right?
That's correct.
You sent it out to who else? I'm sorry, Fob and who else?
Fob and Jaraxxus and Nulls.
Okay, so Jaraxxus is at 6, and Nulls is at 14. Okay.
5. So I was down to 4, so that should be 9.
Oh, you were down further than I thought. My bad.
Because you said it was... Wait, you said it was 10 points of damage, right?
Right, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So, as the drone comes to Gamork, there's a moment where it casts its blue light, over its wounds, and Gamork, who looks grievously hurt, you can see the wounds kind of knitting up the way they're supposed to, and then Gamork, almost like, if you could imagine, sort of like a sleeping dog, or maybe even a cat with its eyes closed, paws at the thing, and sort of knocks it away, and then growls quietly. Gamork looks hurt but not dead.
All right, and then he's going to immediately. Titus is immediately going to sit down and begin to cast mass treatment,
Okay.
which is going to take me 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that's what Titus is doing for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
In the vein of healing, Jaraxxus, the body of this acolyte landing at his feet, he pulls out the backpack that they bought here on the planet, the explorer's pack that he bought for himself, and he bought one for Titus. And Jaraxxus pulls out a healer's kit,
Okay.
and is going to attempt to stabilize this acolyte in front of him, who was also hit by that weird lightning bolt thing.
One quick note, Jaraxxus, just for your edification. This acolyte is way beyond stabilization.
As in dead?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Once I determine that, then I do the, close the eyelids sort of thing, and go over to Mavra and try to see how she's doing.
So Mavra is face down, and when you come over, you get this very distinct smell of ozone. I think would be the way to describe it. When you roll her over, her skin and everything around her robes and everything seem blackened. You think she might be breathing, maybe.
Okay. I'd like to imagine too that as Jaraxxus is walking, like myself and pretty much the rest of our party were knocked down, and I was at like 1 HP. So the 3 other illusory Jaraxxi are like flickering, and then Jaraxxus like just presses a button pad on his shoulder, and they disperse.
Okay.
And he takes the healing drone from Titus, walks over to Mavra, and is going to try to use the healer's kit. I have parrots. You're hearing my parrots. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's the sound of the birds once this is all restored.
Yes. Yeah, the birds
in
in the wine garden are now singing again.
Exactly. It was very dramatic. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So the healer's kit says, as an action, you can expend one of the 10 uses to stabilize a creature that has 0 hit points without needing to make a medicine check.
Okay.
So I will attempt to use the bandages and salves and splints, I guess, to do so.
Okay. So go ahead and use your. You can just use the healing kit to do that. I think you have to.
I just use the healing kit to stabilize them, so they don't necessarily become conscious, but they're not like in death saving throw.
You get the impression that she's somewhat out of danger, although as you're doing this, Jaraxxus, you sense a presence next to you, and you can sort of then look over to see that Shannon is now kneeling next to you, and Shannon looks down and says, "She will," and you can see his eyes kind of scanning with concern, and he says, "You can stabilize her body. I will do what I must to stabilize her mind. She is wandering, but she may be able to return to us." And he kind of like looks over at the still quietly weeping Estrika. And there is a guard standing next to Estrika, and Shannon says to you, "You must deal with her. I will do what I must here." And now the 4 of you, as you sort of look over, you can see that the captain is trying to basically, roughly pulls Estrika to her feet, and says, "It's time for you to come with us." Like, looks really angry. And Estrika, isn't resisting at all. But you 4, of course, can say whatever you like.
Okay, so first of all, Nalls is going to take the sword that Estrika threw down on the ground.
Okay.
To take that up. And say, "Now wait a minute. She has a lot to answer for. Now, if she wants to clear her conscience, that's fine. But we need to understand what we just went through."
And so the guard sort of stares at you for a moment, and then shoulders slump and says, "It is my fault. I was wandering in a lightless room. And then he sort of lets his hand go, and she sort of slips to the ground, and he turns away and he says, "You may ask your questions, and then I must take her to the Primarch." And he kind of he seems like he's not even really talking to you, Knowles. He's kind of half talking to himself. and Astrika just kind of, slumps to the ground.
And I kneel down next to her and I say, you raise your head and you look around this room. Now, if you are truly sorry, you are going to talk.
She nods and she says, yes, I will talk. And she kind of like drying, her tears, she kind of rolls into a sitting position. And she, again, sort of like winces in pain as she sees the body of the acolyte. She says, this story is... the ramifications of this are dire. Not just for these people, but for all of Celis. And she sort of like shakes her head. And she
okay,
says,
so I'm sorry.
She's definitely not saying, she's not shaking her head like I'm not going to talk. She's shaking her head like this is big stuff that she's about to say. So if you want, you can. It's up to you, Niles, if you want to say anything. But she will talk. It seems.
Jiraxis
I was just
approaches
wondering if
to-
she was. I was just wondering if she was
yeah.
shaking her head because she didn't know how to say what she needed to say.
She.
So I'm not
I
gonna
think that would
interrupt
be
her.
that. I think that would be the description of what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's preparing to speak, but there's a lot apparently.
Jiraxis approaches just to also listen to the conversation, but doesn't say anything.
Bob, what about you?
Bob is watching Gamork intently and just making sure Gamork is okay, maybe patting his head every once in a while, very gingerly.
Yeah.
Just making sure Gamork knows I'm his bud.
And Gamork has rolled at this point into a lying position from his side where he had been, and is sort of licking at his fur. And as you pet him, Gamork kind of starts sniffing disturbingly in the direction of your sheathed knife, Fob, and then like growls, and then goes back to licking his fur. As you're sitting next to him. And Titus is doing the mass healing we talked about before. Okay.
Okay, so Knowles has a question.
Go ahead, Knowles.
For Astrika then.
Yep.
When you were under whatever that was, you were drawing the souls of elves to you. I saw it. I was in whatever realm that you were in. How did you come across such immense power?
I was among the Order's most talented hopefuls. And when I was inducted, I was one of the rare few that remembered the parts of my journey into the umbral. And she's like hesitant, like you can tell that she's like remembering it, but it's all fragmented, and she's like, as she's speaking. Now, the umbral is the place that you've heard before is the place beyond the veil, according to the people of Celis. And she says, we were told that this was the realm of our ancestors and the spirits of the elves. But it is a lie. The umbral is a realm twisted. It is inhabited by demonic shadows, known as the Caradin. Now, when she says this, all of you can see that Shannon and also the guard captain sort of both turn in her direction, and just like their eyes wide. And she says, the Caradin have lived in the umbral for centuries, and they cannot leave yet. But they are powerful scions. They can project their will onto the minds of their victims. I survived the realm's corruption, but not with my mind. I fell under the influence of the Caradin Elder, Berzelkis. And she's about to go on, and Shannon, who has sort of turned slightly from Mavra, says, "This is heresy and blasphemy. You are lying. The Umbral is the realm of the spirits that we are sworn to," and he is about to say, like, sworn to something. And she says, "I was there, Shannon. I was there. I saw them. I saw him."
And Null says, "I'm actually inclined to believe her. Mavra said that she's not sure that the Umbral was what she was led to believe, and that there could have been something much darker there."
And so Shannon just, like, stares at you and then just turns away, like, shaking his head. And Ustrika says, her voice a little quieter, "I'm not any happier about it than you, Shannon. But the truth is the truth. Fizelkis told me I would serve him, that we would all serve him someday. I am certain that those who pass the trials and leave the Umbral become unwitting agents of the Caridin, and those that fail the trials become prisoners. Their life force is used to sustain the Caridin until they can free themselves. We destroyed 2 of them, 2 of my people, in this fight." And she sort of trails off and says, "There are some still trapped. Some of our people still there, including Mavra's friends." And then sort of trails off. Now, the guard, at this point, draws his sword and says, "You are speaking heresy, and to continue to speak this heresy means your life should be forfeit." Now, he doesn't go towards her yet, but he is just enraged. You can see his sword is almost like trembling. Not like he's not in control of his actions, but like as if she's just said everything about your life is a lie, you know, that type of thing. And Shannon sort of is, you know, back to tending Mavra, but still shaking his head and muttering to himself.
So Nulls asks, "And for those who pass the trials, where are they sent?"
She says, "Most of them return here until they are used, until they are needed. But there is one thing more. There is a device, a machine, something which magnifies the power of the Caridin. It touches the walls of Celis and these caverns. That is why the initiations happen here. If we destroy it, perhaps we can stop their contact with us." She's like speaking with great exertion to be able to get all this out.
"I've seen that light in the walls. Do you know where it is, this device?"
Yes. It is in a cavern beneath the halls of the scribe. I can lead you there, though I cannot go with you further than just the entrance, or he will control me again. He does not control me now. But if I come close to the device again, he will reach back out. But I can show you where it is. And the guard captain says, so that you can betray them again with your lies and deceit. And then he says, you cannot believe anything she has said. It is clear that she has not only taken leave of her senses, but forgotten what it is to be a spirit caller or even a Twilight elf. She is lying to you. You cannot walk willingly into her trap.
Draxus says, something tells me that for the first time she's speaking the truth. If she is lying, then what is your explanation for this then?
And the guard captain like glares at you and just sort of like turns away angrily.
And Jiraxis says, Ostrika, what are the Keradin, this Zelkus, you said they are demons? Do they already exist in your, I don't know if mythology is the right word, but
yes.
I don't know.
For centuries they have pretended to be our ancestors, our people that, if we can reach them, can bring us to a new utopic world. They wished only for us to free them from their prison. The world they speak of exists, but not the people. Just them. Who imprisoned them, I cannot say.
Wow. A look of realization kind of pans over Jiraxis's face and says, look, I know that your reactions, he says to Shannon and the guard, they're warranted. If someone said the same thing, what that would mean is very dire. But it doesn't mean that we keep letting it happen. If it is true, someone should at least investigate what's going on. And at the risk of being a bit too forward, myself, I don't want to volunteer my friends, but we aren't from here. And at least for me, I would gladly take a look. If it meant more Twilight elves don't have to, well, I don't know. We don't know.
And Ustrika says, there are two ways to get in. You could go through the main entrance as hopefuls, taking the trials the way that you, and she kind of like nods weakly in your direction, Knowles, the way that you were trying to become, posing to become one of us. Or there is a private passage beneath the area, guarded and dangerous, but free from other surveillance. Pose as hopefuls, or sneak in and somehow through or past the guards. Those are the ways I know of anyway. Still, halting.
You're speaking of the other spirit callers. You're saying because they'll believe everything that you're saying is heresy, that we still won't have permission to check this out. Is that what you're saying?
Or because Vizelkis and the Caradin control them too.
Oh. So it sounds like the only other option would be if your city went to war with the spirit callers, but we don't want to see that happen. So
my city and the spirit callers would destroy each other, and thousands would die.
Right, we don't want that. Okay.
And the guard captain says, I have given you much latitude, and then he turns around. But this one must be taken before the Primarch. You must tell me what you wish her to do. and then she must face judgment for her crimes. The Primarch will decide whether or not whether she had a reason for her actions. But until then, I cannot allow her to wander freely. At this place, by the way, Glimmerleaf has come out, and it says it's just sort of staring at the resulting destruction. And what has happened here? There was awful screaming, and then darkness, and what is going on? And then she sees Mavra. What? And then sees the acolyte, and just what, as she's looking around.
Last thing Drax is going to do for now is I remembered the thing that you guys remind me about. I have telepathy. Jiraxis sees this guard about to take Astrika away, and the realization that she's now just being seen as a heretic. And so Jiraxis is going to, his beard tentacles Davy Jones a little bit, and he will telepathically say to Astrika, "Where are your quarters? How do we get in? Is there, even while you were under its influence, do you have any notes about these demons, or how to fight them, or other information?"
I will help you as much as I can once we get to the entrance.
The thing is, I don't know that they'll let you. They're taking you as a captive.
And she sort of stares at the guard, and she's the captain, and says, "You know the darkness that awaits. You saw it yourself. You must let me guide them to the entrance. Ask them if you trust them. Ask them." And the guard captain sort of looks up at all four of you.
I look at everyone else to see what...
She has done horrendous things. And yes, she must be brought to justice, and she will be. However, the things she speaks of, I have witnessed for myself. Mavra has spoken of them herself. And if anyone here was going to champion her, it most certainly would not be me.
Make a persuasion check for me, Knowles. I will let you do this at +2, but don't roll it yet. But, chat, this may or may not be one of the last rolls of the night, and certainly of the month of June. So if you got an inspiration, you could throw it this way if you got one. Also, I hope that the stream is smoothed out. As I said, I'm doing this on the road, and it's actually working reasonably well, but Prince Justin has inspired Knowles. Thank you, Prince Justin.
Okay.
All right, so you can do that persuasion check at +2, and you can do that at advantage. So you can roll the +2 roll twice. Thank you, Prince Justin.
Okay, that's 11.
That's
okay. Let's do it again.
Do that again.
Here. No, persuasion, not. Okay. 11.
Oh, but
13.
Yeah,
13.
That's better. The guard captain says, "All right, I will accompany the 5 of you," and then sees the wolf and says, 6, I suppose. "I will accompany the 6 of you only to the entrance to this place, and then she will come with me." And he shakes his head. "I will..." And at this point, the other guard, remember there were 2, has come over, and the other guard says, "You cannot allow this. You know what will happen." And the guard captain, and he says, "You know what will happen if the Primarch discovers, if they find out what has happened here. If you allow them to escort them." And the guard captain says, "There is more at stake." He says, "More at stake than your duty? If the Primarch finds what you have done, your life would be forfeit." And the guard captain stares at him and then stares at you and says, "Then it is forfeit." And he turns around and walks to the entrance to the clearing and looks back at you.
So let me ask really quickly, is
Sure.
either one of these Vasine?
Vasine is the guard captain that I've been talking about. Yes,
Okay.
That's Vasine.
Okay.
Now, I do want to mention a couple of mechanical things here, which is you will have an opportunity to do a short rest. Mechanically, Fob, you'll be happy to know that a short rest will clear that strength problem that you have.
Oh,
Well, it would clear it
which
for
you might
me
be
too.
feeling.
Right?
And would also clear it for you, Knowles. That's
All
right,
right.
because you had a little bit of a strength effect too. The other thing that I want to note about this is that Ustrika also offers you one thing, but before I give this to you, you have to decide, are you doing the main entrance route? Because it's going to make a difference in terms of where she leads you. Are you doing the main
Okay.
entrance route, or are you doing the private guarded passage route?
Well, there's another question here. How close are we to getting that max heal? Because I don't think we should leave without that.
Oh no, you'll get that,
Oh.
because the short rest, it'll cover that. So Titus' mass heal will go off during this.
Okay.
For sure.
And I have a question about the mechanics of that, because when a short rest on D&D Beyond says there's recover, and one of the boxes already checked, automatically apply healing with dice result, and the other one is not, reset maximum HP changes during this rest. So
Yeah, and you
Uh,
also, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, I will say you could try to take a long rest, except I think you took one. No, maybe not. I was wondering if you took one before this. I don't think you've taken one today. So you could take a long rest. The question is, will Vasine, the guard captain, allow you that many hours of latitude?
Well,
probably not. But
yeah,
the short
well-
rest you could probably convince him.
Maybe
So.
she could show us the entrance or show us the way in. Because that Jiraxis, that's the caveat with him, is he gets all his stuff back on a short rest. So I'm perfectly back to normal on a short rest, but someone like Titus would not be, for example.
Titus definitely needs a long rest if we can take it. If we're gonna
Yeah.
if we're gonna go into this place,
Yep.
Titus definitely needs a long rest.
Okay.
And if we're talking about what the choice is here, I think we should go in the sneaky route, because that
I agree.
gives us
Same.
the opportunity to give Fob lead on
Mhm.
this and see what she can, or see what they can see before we actually commit to any violence.
Right.
there's also something else that I would like to do that I haven't had the chance to do yet before we do anything,
Okay.
and that is to inspect Astrika's sword.
Okay, you can do
Tossed
that.
aside as soon as she was okay. So I was like, all right, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
I will do that one at a time. So
Okay.
the first is that what we'll do at the beginning of our next session, which I'll describe in a minute, we'll take care of the healing situation at that point. The second thing is that Ustrika is going to, if you're going to do a long rest, and this is up to you, if you're going to do a long rest, they're going to take her to the Primarch, but she can tell you, give you the directions, basically, in terms of where you want to go. You won't be able to take
Okay.
Mavra with you. Mavra's going to be, Mavra's been through a lot. Mavra's going to need to kind of rest. It's going to be the four
Yeah.
of you plus Gamork. But she will also, Ustrika, give you something very powerful, and it is a jar. It looks a little bit like the jar of the stuff that you found from the merchant in the market, actually, the sort of stuff that that merchant was selling. But this is a glass jar, and there is a thick mixture in it that smells faintly of aloe. This, I will tell you, has within it four doses of a thick mixture. One of these doses will restore 2d8 plus 2 hit points and
Nice.
cure you of poison and disease. This item
Great.
is a restorative ointment.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So there's 4 doses of this stuff.
Okay. That's great.
And it's an action to take it. This is not like a bonus thing, because you got to literally rub it on the skin. Got to put on
Okay.
some sunscreen. So she's willing to give this to you, and then we'll give you directions based upon what you decide. But I do need you to decide what which one of them are you going to go to before we wrap here.
I think
The other
we
thing,
agreed
I was
on the
gonna say-
sneaky route.
You are
Yeah,
doing
and
sneaky route. Okay.
because the other thing that has not been mentioned about her going down there, like her telling us versus her leading us there, is I'm not 100% convinced that she might not be somewhat influenced. So
Still,
Okay.
keeping her away, as far away as possible, sounds like a good thing to me.
She was a little nervous about that herself, as she said, so there's that.
Yep.
Okay. So
my vote too with the ointment is I think Fob should get it, in my opinion, because Titus already can heal, Nalik can already heal. I and Fob can't, but Fob can move really quick to like go rub ointment on people. So
Yeah, so Bob also has that health potion from Glimmerleaf, so you should take
oh
it.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
although I do
yeah.
like the idea that Fob runs towards somebody like jaws open and is the same way whether attacking or whether giving you ointment, like
Take this ointment. Okay. We'll resolve later what because she glimmer. Oh, I see it. Yeah, a potion of healing with 2 doses.
Yep.
And a single potion of poison resistance.
Yep.
So, Fob, do you want to give me both of those, or just one, or what, or neither?
Why don't you take both of them? Let's
Okay.
see how you do.
All right, and then you should restorative ointment's a D&D item, so you should be able to search, add it to your inventory, probably.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I think as you all prepare to do your short/long rest, which we'll talk about the effect of that, at the beginning, as I say, at the beginning of the next round. I would imagine, as you prepare to go off to where Glimmerleaf will put you up temporarily, you stand and walk past the blackened spot on the ground, several of them actually, which are now the only signs of the now moved acolyte's body, but also the destroyed shadows that were once Twilight elves.
I gotta inspect that sword.
Oh, the sword. No, that's right. That was my cool finish I want to talk about. Yes, the sword. Because, Nulls, when you pick up the sword, which is a scimitar, you draw it forth and you look at it, and you feel vaguely nauseated as you look at this thing. And then, if anyone has seen the Fellowship of the Ring film and remember what it looks like when Aragorn picks up the Morgul blade that has stabbed Frodo, there's a moment where it just fades into shadowy dust. And that is what happens with this one. You are left only with the hilt of this thing, the hilt of which feels impossibly and almost painfully cold.
I can keep that hilt though, right?
If you wish.
Okay, because I might try to do something with it later.
Okay. Placing the hilt into your bag so you can protect your precious. Just kidding. You walk past the previously mentioned blackened spots that I talked about, and we will bring our session to a close. Well. The plot has thickened. Good work against Astrika.
Nice.
Astrika was nasty because of all of those mind control things and confusions and all that stuff. And of course, it wasn't even her. And then you just found out that the entire religious system of Celis is wrong. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's lovely. At least from the way that it's described. And of course, the implications of this are significant, right? Because this is what supposedly the Primarch down here is also trying to be in contact with the Elders. So you got a Primarch up top with problems, a Primarch down here with problems. Lovely, wonderful.
How do you spell the Caradon Elder's name?
Oh, yes, that is a good call. The name is spelled P-H-Y-Z.
You say P-T?
No, P as in Paul.
P, okay.
P as in Paul, H as in Harvey, Y as in yellow, and then Zelkis, Z-E-L-K-A-S, so Phyzelkis. So no problem. I mean, there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever with any of that. I am very excited to see what happens when you start figuring out how to get to this amplifying device that's been doing this, and then the implications of these things, and there's a lot. So I'm going to start with the gentleman bottom right. Zach, we had some good stuff from Jaraxxus today, and in particular, super clutch on that thing with Titus, because having Titus charmed and then Null's charm would have been real bad given the damage that Titus was doing with lasers and everything else. and also that you needed Titus to do some healing. So that would have been real bad, and that was very clutch, that save that you made for him. And then also, you were the one who almost got just, blown away by the lightning bolt. So you got to sort of see all of this kind of play out. It'll be interesting to see, I think, how Jiraxis deals with all of those things, traumas and otherwise, as we move into the next session. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Today was great. As you said, the plot thickens. It's really cool. Was not expecting any of this. For some reason, the idea that she herself was also mind controlled did not occur to me, but that's really cool, really interesting, and it sounds like we have maybe a bit of a dungeon crawl ahead of us or something like it. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Very excited to take a long rest, and
I can imagine that.
Both in real life and in the game. And the fine people will find me here for the next time that we're playing, which may be soon, depending on scheduling. And also on this stream for our vocalists once a month, where we are finishing the Banner Saga 3 of the trilogy of Banner Saga games. You'll also find me on my own channel on Thursdays, where I'm streaming Divinity Original Sin 2 with my friends Maddie and Vez. And that's about all for now. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Greg, for some great GMing. And also check out Gen GMs, our Dungeon Master, Game Master show talking about game mastering over the years. Our last episode, most recent episode, was very good, in my opinion. So yeah, give it a watch.
Absolutely, and yeah, exactly. If you want to hear more about how we do some of these things, definitely stop by Gen GMs and spread the word by spreading word about the shorts and all that kind of stuff. We really do appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Also, one note, I had one person on YouTube mentioning that the mic was still muffled. I increased the volume a little bit. Again, a little bit of this is trial and error because of my new remote setup and because I was having all kinds of tech issues before the stream started. But I think now, hopefully the microphone was okay for everybody for the most part, he said, hopefully. But in any case, but thank you, Zach. Good stuff today. Kat, Fob had a couple of big clutch moments. I love the idea that Fob was then like, how are you, Gamork? Like, in the midst of this sort of like wrapped in confusion. Because, of course, this is the thing, right? Like, Fob is such a major damage dealer that when Fob's damage is all of a sudden being dealt to not the bad guys, that's got some issues associated with it.
Bob likes to feel competent, and the being confused and hitting an ally was not a competent moment. So Fob's a little shaken by that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm very curious to see how that plays out. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
It was fun as always. I think Ostrika, boy, got down pretty low on hit points, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
Where will people find me? Online. You can always find me on my website and on all the social media. The next convention I'll be at is Gen Con, which I think several of us will all be at. So super exciting.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Kat. Always a pleasure. I will see you next month for this as well. Toya, great stuff today as well from Nulls. When Nulls got charmed in particular, first of all, it was cracking me up that you're just like, listen, this bitch, and then you just go to this big thing about like, I really don't think this person's this bad, and you're just like, I hate to, it was very funny. But as you said, you had not had the experience of going through being charmed or confused, and it's not something which happens too often, blessedly, but this is someone whose whole shtick was that thing. And I was very curious because I thought, man, Nulls of all people, what would Nulls do with that? And instead there was this whole business of, and I think I loved Zach Jiraxis' reaction to that, of being like, what are you doing? Why would Nulls do this? That makes even less sense than anything else. But you managed to come through it okay, and also, of course, the Bardic Inspiration you had given Fob, I believe it was, really helped, and other things mechanically that you were able to manage. And you were the first one to say the whole business about the walls. You felt that yourself, so this is something that you've seen around you. So you were the first one to be like, maybe I kind of believe this person, and then Jiraxis, of course, backed that up. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Well, the amusing thing for me is that usually my rolls are boo-boo, like straight up boo-boo, and like the last session I actually had decent rolls for once.
Yeah.
So I was not surprised that my rolls were yet again boo-boo. And like when I finally was not confused or whatever anymore, the fight was over. So that was typical. Um
Yes.
But I was prepared to despise Astrika and Shannon for the rest of the time, and maybe now half the rest of the time I will despise them. But yeah, so I did have a speculation, and I told everybody this in the green room, that I thought that Istrika had some kind of, I was thinking it was Magitech that was pumping up her powers. So I may have been wrong about the Magitech, but there is some kind of device. So I was right on that account, it seems.
Yep.
So I will slightly pat myself on the back for that. Where will people be able to find me? You will also be able to find me at GenCon. And I will very briefly plug a couple of workshops that I'm doing if anybody is interested in them.
Yeah.
One is basically a deep dive into characters, and another is how to basically build interest and kind of a breadcrumb trail language through like caring about characters and then using different elements in a story, no matter what kind of story it is, by the way. My workshops are for any type of medium that you might be working in.
Highly worth it. And yes, I've got a couple workshops myself. And also I should plug, while we're on the subject, because I should mention that Toya is going to be joining us for our D&D with authors there. So we're going to have Toya alongside Richard Lee Byers, along with Emily, the Invincible, all familiar to people in this chat, along with Brandon O'Brien and Karen Menzel. And I think that's all. Should be 5 people. Karen, Toya, Richard, Brandon, Emily. Yes, 5. That's right. So is going to be joining us for that. So if you want to see that, you should definitely get your tickets for D&D with authors at the symposium and see more of us live and in person and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you, Toya. Good stuff today. And last but certainly not least, Johnny, also some good stuff from Titus, mechanically doing a lot of stuff with the laser and with the assault drone. And in there were moments where Titus's damage was like the one thing that was just kind of continuing to like wail away at Istrika, so that was really necessary. I did love the image of Titus running towards them, then having the confusion, running all the way around, turning around, running back. It was a lot of Titus just like zipping back and forth, which was kind of cracking me up visually in my mind a little bit. But also the fact that now, Titus was also almost controlled, if again not for Jaraxxus's help there, and so got a little bit of an insight into something that was very wrong with how Istrika was managing to control people or not control people. I am curious to see how Titus is going to think about this as after the healing you go down into this place to find this magic device. How'd you feel about the session tonight? Where will the folks find you next?
It was interesting to be I guess a mechanical boon and not a story-driven or narrative-driven sort of boon in this particular situation. It was very fun to navigate that, and so I really enjoyed it. I really appreciated everything that everybody else was bringing to the table. Titus was kind of disagreeing with Knowles a little bit about some of the things that she was saying, but from a player perspective, Knowles was spot on. Toya, I was appreciating the experience of being the audience member, watching what you were doing in the interaction there, trying to navigating that. So, kudos to you. That was pretty fantastic. I cannot say this enough. Thanks, Zach. That wisdom save was clutch. So, next place you're gonna find me is here. I believe really quickly. And then more to come about that after that. So
Lisa no Gaib. Lisa no Gaib.
Yes, and I think you did a masterful job getting around your wonky enter and shift keys.
Oh, thank you.
tonight.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was like swearing up a storm with these poor people before the stream, and I'm like, I can't.
I fully expect that when Arv ends the stream, he'll be like, "Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely night." Close his laptop, picks it up, slams it on the
Yeah,
ground.
no. I just, oh my, it's so frustrating. Anyway, but no, we did manage to keep it together. So, but yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. For those of you, by the way, watching on YouTube, we did get some good concurrent viewer numbers in there too. And I'm sorry for those of you who are like, why is this choppy? I'm like, because I'm straight. It's a long story. Anyway, but I think we managed okay. And so thank you for that. Most of all, thank you to my wonderful players for being awesome. We will see them back here next month. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing crew of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks? Thank you to Johnny Pittman. Thank you to Toy Kristen Finley. Thank you to Kat Rambo. And thank you to Zach Clay. Players, thank you so much. I will see you folks very soon.
Thank you for being here, everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Alrighty. So that, chat, is going to do it for us for today. And I had a great time today. I hope you folks did as well. Again, I am sorry about the severe internet. Well, actually, it wasn't the internet. The internet was okay. It was mostly just these, other issues like my enter and shift keys. But the one thing I will say is that I was able to do a lot of troubleshooting doing this, actually. And so it shows me that I'm in pretty good condition. I do want to have a better internet, connection for that. But I will at the places that I'll be when we're in merry old England. But also that I want to make sure that I at least get this keyboard functional again. We'll see, I'm going to do some troubleshooting on that, but I have a little bit of time before that happens. But either way, hopefully people were able to watch it so it was functional, and the players did a wonderful job. So that was cool. But that, folks, is going to do it for me for this evening. I will be back next week on Tuesday for our July 2nd, I think the first stream of July. And then we've got a lot coming up in July that's going to be very exciting. Remember, we are going to have all of our tabletop stuff. We're going to have more Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks. We're going to have more Eberron. We will have more Beowulf as well. And over on GOGcom's my sister channel, GOGcom's Twitch channel, we will have By the Dice Roll in our final Saltmarsh sessions before August and our big in-person event, which is going to be the one happening August 17th at the Clapham Omnibus Theatre. Again, if you are in Europe and specifically in England, or if you can travel from Europe to England, we'd love to see you there. And please get those tickets. If you go to buythediceroll.com, you can pre-order those tickets right now. And we would love to see you there and to meet you in person. Otherwise, as I say, we'll also have video game stuff, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We'll have the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook illustration stream and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, but if you like what you saw and heard today, please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. And again, for those of you who are over watching there, thank you. Please sub over there. Our Discord is !ArvCord, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Blue Sky, !ArvSky. Website, arvanelaron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. Remember, art coming soon along with merchandising coming soon for the Expedition crew. That helps both the channel and, of course, gets you to look cool. I am wearing a little bit of swag, my Esper Genesis Crucible Core swag, which is as close as I have right now. !ArvTreon is the Patreon. That's that thing sitting right over there. That really makes a big difference and is the financial backbone of the channel. And subbing to the channel helps as well, so please consider doing all of those things. On the publishing side, !Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Mathis Arts. !Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And !Greyshade is my Greyshade RP, my Greyshade IP. First two books in that series, Greyshade and Renegade, are already out. You can get those at that link. You can also get the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks, all brought to you by Athos Arts. Also, you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade being done by our very own Brandon O'Brien, coming out from Alligator Alley, which of course is the sponsor of this campaign. That will be out at the end of this year. And also, you can pre-order Heretic, which is the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy. The ebook of that has already gone out to Kickstarter backers, but the print editions and the ebooks for people who are not backers are going to be going out to people late next month after our release event, which is going to be at Black Rock Books in Bridgeport, Connecticut, happening in late July. So definitely pre-order now, because as it says, pre-orders are love, pre-orders are life. And hopefully there may even be some more information, reviews, and other advanced buzz for Heretic coming up soon, so please be aware of that. And as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help, and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we will do so for others in the future. That's it for me. No raid today because, again, I'm on the road and I got to get going. But I will see you folks back on Tuesday at noon for more awesomeness. I will figure out the schedule on Monday and post all that good stuff. But I'll see you folks on Tuesday, more Expedition to come as well. Special thanks today. Well, first of all, thank you to my wonderful mods, Prince Justin and Trippity Mats. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers and Patreon supporters, Prince Justin, Trippity Mats, Crit Twitch. Thank you so much to my wonderful viewers, Anime Wolf, Betrader, Dragon Spear, Jagtress, Optic Nerve, Video Store Cowboy, and thank you most of all to my players tonight. Thank you so much to Johnny. Thank you so much to Toya. Thank you so much to Kat, and thank you so much to Zach. Great work from everyone. That's it for me. Much love, and I will see you folks back here on Tuesday. Until then, everyone be good to each other, and have a good night.